This is the video I wish someone sat me down with the summer before college, because I had no idea what I was doing financially. As a first-gen student, I had to figure out a lot of things out on my own. So here's everything I would have tackled during the summer before freshman year when it comes to money, support, and paying for school in general. Sprinkled in with some financial mistakes that hopefully you guys won't repeat. First, I wish I communicated better with my parents about asking how much they could financially support. There was one particular year of college where I hit a financial rock bottom, since I had a macho attitude of wanting to pay for my tuition on my own. I was doing everything possible to avoid taking out loans, and eventually my bank account was down to almost zero. Really, if I just asked if they could pitch in maybe $200 or $300 a month, I could have avoided it. Unless your parents have straight up said, "We can't help," don't be afraid to talk to them. My pitch would have been, look, I don't want to end up in too big a hole after school. I don't want to always have to work full-time each semester. And I want to focus on school as much as possible, or landing internships related to my degree. Help doesn't have to be only tuition or rent. If they can help with groceries, gas, or other expenses, that comes in clutch as well. That's $100 or $200 to pay off some principal while in school or bring down rent a bit. Thankfully, when I started community college, I was blessed to have been given grants by the government and didn't have to pay for much. Almost everything was covered. Even if I had to pay for community college, it would have been about maybe $5,000 for 3 years, including summer classes. However, when I got to university, the bill was about $38,000 after 5 years. Aside from tuition, other expenses to consider this summer include housing, vehicles, books and supplies, and entertainment. Starting with cars, it's the biggest expense after tuition and housing. The commuter life wasn't for me. I have no idea how other people did it, but I had to live near campus. When I lived off campus with a roommate, rent was about $800 a month. When I moved out on my own, it jumped up to $1,325 a month. Was it a steep luxury tax? Yeah. But no more hour-long commutes, no more getting home at midnight, and having to spend 14 hours on campus the next day. So, to the freshmen watching, here's what you should ask yourself. Will my parents help with rent? Do I have friends I can trust enough to live with and split costs? Or should I just skip it all and commute? And if you choose to commute, what's your car situation? Will you just be on campus all day? Or will you be running errands, going to work, or making regular trips back home? My Nissan Xterra used to break down once a summer consistently when I was in college. And the repairs always cost anywhere between $500 to $1,000. That's not including gas or other expenses related to my car. For you, the freshman watching this video, maybe consider Honda Civics or Toyotas that are known for reliability and longevity, if it's in your budget, or if your parents can pitch in. Look, it's the law of the land. If you're a Californian or Texan watching this, the only way to get around these states is to have a car. I wish it was different, but it is what it is. Now we've handled some of the big expenses outside the classroom. Let's talk about what you actually need for class. I made a community post where I said most textbooks were a waste. Unless your professor teaches from the book or the homework is in the book, I'd pass on purchasing them. But I am curious, for the graduates watching, did you actually find textbooks helpful? I was an accounting major, and honestly, most of what I learned was from practice, not from reading. Moving on, pencils and notebooks will always be cheap. I don't think anyone's losing sleep over that. But invest in a good laptop. I had 4 laptops over the course of 6 years, and it wasn't until my recent one that I found a reliable one. Honestly, I should have just got a super gaming laptop from the beginning instead of the specific for classwork laptops. They sucked. If you can, also consider a tablet or portable monitor. My tablet wasn't that expensive relative to today. It was about $150. My portable monitor was about, if I remember correctly, it was anywhere between $70 to $100. Both were reliable and helped out with taking notes, doing homework more comfortably, or having the lectures on one screen and taking notes on my laptop. Just suggestions, but as we become a laptop-reliant society, it's important to spend smart, but don't go cheap on what you use every single day. Finally, later this fall, after getting your expenses in order, when your homework is done and you can finally breathe, now you have some downtime. Young, pockets full of cash, independence, and freedom. I get it. So let's talk about emotional discipline. You want to buy all the video games, DoorDash munchie meals, go out with friends, or travel as much as your heart desires. But here's where emotional discipline comes in. Are you ready for that level of freedom? Because companies know that freshmen are still teenagers, and they know how to market to emotional decisions. And I went through this myself. Freshmen get targeted hard. Fitness packages, hustle courses, $2,000 weekend seminars, the constant pressure to go out, flex, or live big. And it's not just the scams, it's everyday stuff. Saying no to the movies, eating out, buying tickets to see a concert or a football game when it's not in your budget. These aren't things you can always prepare for, but you can start being aware. You don't have to live like a monk. And yeah, go out, have fun, make memories, But you also don't need to act like you just won the lottery every refund or paycheck. Every weekend doesn't need to be a movie. Sometimes chilling at home is the smarter play. And saying no now, that might be what lets you say yes to something way better later. A lot of freshmen spend money chasing the feeling of freedom because they never had this much space to choose. I get it. But if you're not careful, freedom becomes debt real fast. And speaking of debt, the last thing I would go over the summer before my freshman year, how would I handle loans? Thankfully, I was smart enough to pay off interest while I was still in school. That alone saved me a ton. But if I had just asked for a little help, I probably could have knocked out 20 to 30% of my loan principal before graduating. Here's how I do it differently today. I'd aim to pay about 30 to 50% of a semester in cash and rely on loans or scholarships, if I was lucky, for the rest. Now look, this isn't financial advice, but unless you come from money, I don't see a good reason to rely 100% on loans or paying every semester in cash. And yes, it's tough. I know what you're thinking. Mac, just walking past the university costs an arm, a leg, and a kidney. And you're not wrong. I agree, college is overpriced. Whether it's the rec centers, the football stadiums looking like cathedrals, or bloated admin costs, at the end of the day, the house always wins. And they will collect. Don't fall into the trap of thinking, I'll worry about loans later. Start chipping away now if you can. If you get a refund check, don't touch it. Leave it in savings, let it earn interest, and only crack it open for financial emergencies. Seriously, don't touch those refunds checks. They're not free money, they're just delayed problems if you spend them wrong. Hopefully you guys get lucky and don't have as many financial emergencies as I did. They were never short of $1,000, but at least I had the money, I suppose. Now, if you're a freshman watching this, hopefully you're not freaking out. You don't need to have every answer, but you do need to start thinking. Assuming you have free time this summer, go to the library or a coffee shop, write down every expense you know is coming your way. Tuition, groceries, laptop, gas, rent. Maybe not everything on that list is applicable, but something will catch you off guard if you don't prep ahead. But let me know what you guys think. Freshmen, drop your questions or concerns in the comments. Sophomores or juniors, what's been your biggest financial surprise in college? Graduates, what's the best financial advice you'd give to a young student? I got a couple more videos like this coming out this summer, but until then, I'll catch you guys on the next one, and take care.
Well, we made it. Let's hope there's still somebody here.